Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jnanatimidandasya jnananjana shalakaya chaksharan militam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ukam karati vachalam pangam langayate girim yatripadam mande shigarandinataranam paramanandamadam Sri Chaitanya Shri. Thank you very much for coming and attending us at this program. Very grateful. So Bhagavad Gita Raga Dvesha Mukta Ischu Vishyan Indriyas Chiran Atmavasya Videya Atma Prasadam Adhigacchate. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to us through Arjuna on the battlefield for only one purpose. We should all understand human life is temporary. Tadruvam Adruvam Artadam. Tadyapi Adruvam Artadam. Though it is temporary, it has a value. We can utilize human form to cleanse all the impurities. And we can realize we are spiritual but not the body. And when we get rid of all the impurities, what remains? The nature of the soul remains. What is the nature of the soul? That pure love of Krishna, pure love of God, we call it Krishna. Krishna Prema remains. Then Krishna wants, then we can go back to Godhead. So Father, what should we do? What is the problem in this world? Attachments. But if we put the same attachment, the thing that we like, we are attached to it, we like it. And the things that we don't like, we become averse to it. We hate it. Raga and Dvesha. Then Prabhupada explains in one of the lectures, a person who is addicted to smoking, after a few minutes or hours, the nicotine levels go down and he says, I want BD, I want BD, I want BD. He's so much, he longs for that nicotine in the body. So to the extent a smoker is attached to smoking, if you are that much extent attached to devotees, then our going back to Godhead is certain. Prasangam majaram pasam atmano kavayo vidu sayeva sadhu sukruta moksha dwaram apavratam. Avratam means covered. Apavratam means they're uncovered. The doors for liberation, they're open if we attach ourselves to devotees. The way a smoker is addicted to, and smoker longs for the association of nicotine, a cigarette or BD. If we long for the association of devotees, our doors for liberation, they're open. So otherwise, the attachments in this world and the aversions in this world keep us in this world, birth after birth. You've taken birth in 1970, 80 or 99, 90, add another 60, 70 years, then you live this world. You live everything, not just the world. And again, you take birth. How many of you know some of your relatives were sitting here in the previous birth? We don't know. So in number 8, turn like this. What is number 8? Infinity, cycle of birth and death. So what is Krishna telling in 2nd chapter? So, sense control. If we should not go where our eyes take us to go, where our tongue takes us to go, where our skin takes us to go, and where our ears takes us to go, where our nose. These are the senses that pull us. So if we practice, samyama, discipline, and develop attachment not to the material things, but to devotees, to Krishna, we get the grace, we get the mercy. So last week, 2 weeks before, we started this. Every time in Kirtan, at the end, I would stop the Kirtan and say, Radha, Madan Mohan, Radha, Madan Mohan, Radhe. Then Radha, Govinda, Radha, Govinda, Radhe. Then Radha, Gopinatha, Radha, Gopinatha, Radhe. Why? Why do you do that? Only one reason. Lord Chaitanya explained to, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. What is real spirituality? 3 things. Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojana. So last time when I was giving this class, I was explaining, we are not the body but a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Sambandha Jnana, we have a relationship with Krishna. So we say the musks and melons, they have so much money. You say, don't care. Let them have money. But when you say Krishna is God, you cannot say, I don't care. Why? We are connected to Him. 15th chapter. Mamai Vamsu Jiva Loki Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Arjuna, all the living entities are eternally connected to me. They are my part and parcels. But they suffer because of the uncontrolled mind and senses. Manasashtan Indriyani Prakritasthani Karshati. So, Radha Madan Mohan, the deity Radha Madan Mohan, if we pray to Madan Mohan Ji, he'll give us the Sambandha Jnana. In other words, he'll bring us out from the bodily consciousness, and he reveals us the fact that we are not the body but spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And I told the story of Radha Madan Mohan Ji. Where are these deities right now? Karoli, Rajasthan. They were all in Vrindavan after Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. And after Krishna, his great-grandson Vajranabh installed the deities. The famous deities of Vrindavan, they were installed by Vajra. So, what is that? When Vajra was installing these deities, one person who saw Krishna was still alive. Who was that? Uttara. Who is Uttara? Mother of Maharaj Parikshit. So Uttara, when she saw the Madan Mohan deity, she said, Krishna's feet looked exactly like this. When she saw Gopinath deity, actually, earlier I heard, when she saw the Govinda deity, the chest and the hands are like that, like Krishna's. When she saw the Gopinath deity, she saw the face of Krishna looks exactly like this. But recently I came across, it is other way. When she saw Gopinath deity, she said Krishna's chest and hands look like that of the Gopinath deity's chest and hands. And when she saw the face of Govindadev, she said, Krishna's face, looks exactly, it used to look like this exactly. So what is that? Madan Mohan deity was established by Sanatan Goswami. He established Sanatan Goswami. The Madan Mohan deity was established by Sanatan Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis. Rupa and Sanatan, they were prime minister and finance ministers, but they renounced their world, they renounced the world. And Lord Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them to write books and excavate the place of Vrindavan. And they did that. So last week, I told the story of, before last week, Madan Mohanji, how Krishna would come and reciprocate, with Sanatan Goswami. That stone that is visible in the picture is still there in Radha Damodar temple. So every day Sanatan Goswami would do Govardhan Parikrama, and he became very old. And Krishna said, no, please don't do that. You cannot do it. That to 500 years ago, Govardhan was even bigger, 36 kilometers. And so Krishna gave a rock, Govardhan Sila, it had the footprints of Krishna and footprint, the print of his stick and print of a calf. So if you give 100 rupees today, even the temple, in Radha temple, they will show. What is that? I heard Sanatan Goswami said, I cannot carry this Govardhan Sila, this much big. Krishna himself carried this Govardhan Sila, walking with Sanatan Goswami, and placed in his kutir. That time he was living in Manasi Ganga. In Manasi Ganga comes on the Govardhan Parikrama. So, what is that? Anyway, we discussed the stories of now Mughals were living close to Vrindavan. So then what happened to protect the deities from these attacks? So they were shifted to Jaipur, because Rajputs were ruling Jaipur. And then I told the story how Krishna was shifted to Karoli, Rajasthan. I also told one Muslim story, how he received the blessings of Madan Mohanji. How many of you remember the story? So today, then Sambandha means the relationship. When we pray to Madan Mohanji, when we pray to Sanatan Goswami, Acharya for Sambandha Gyan, they will reveal, you are not the body, but a spirit soul. Your presence in the soul is temporary. The next one, Abhideya. Abhideya means process. Last week, that time I was explaining, when pure water drop falls down from the cloud, it was very pure. But as it starts falling down, it starts picking up the impurities. Finally, it falls in the mud, turns into yellowish liquid. Water drop doesn't even know, one time I was very pure. That is our present state today. But if a person comes and puts the water drop through the process of fractional distillation, then like boiling and collecting the water vapor and cooling it, it again regains that pure water drop status. Likewise, if we want to really regain our original position, we need to go through the process that is called Abhideya. So Abhideya Acharya is Rupa Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually Krishna. He made Rupa Goswami as the Acharya to lead Krishna consciousness for next 10,000 years. He announced this 500 years ago. So anyway, the story, Rupa Goswami is actually, he wrote a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This book is appreciated by practically the different organizations. There is no book on Bhakti like a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Bhakti, because Lord Chaitanya gave that instruction to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they would write books. And one day, every day the brothers would come and meet. So one day Rupa Goswami thought, my brother comes every day. In the previous life, he was a great, what is that, prime minister. But today he became a renunciate. I can't even give him little food. I can't even give him little food. So sad. I wish I could feed him some sweet rice. As soon as he got this thought in his mind, one young girl came, 8-year-old girl, a real story. And 8-year-old girl came and she said, Baba, my mother told me to give you this ingredients, rice, sugar, milk. Really amazing. So what he did, he cooked sweet rice out of it, offered it to Krishna and waiting for Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami came, they together discussed. And after the discussion was over, then brother, I have kheer for you, sweet rice for you. So Sanatana Goswami, who gave you this? Some Rajvasi brought it, gave it to me. Very nice. So as Sanatana Goswami started to eat, the moment he put the first, spoon of sweet rice in his mouth, his mind exploded in happiness. Tears were flowing, unlimited joy. Wow. Then Sanatana Goswami said, Rupa, who gave you these ingredients? Give me the description. So when he explained the girl who came and gave him the ingredients, he said, you did a mistake. That girl is none other than Shrimati Radharani. We don't take service from Radharani. We are her servants. And, you should not have taken it. But the sweet rice was so tasty. It is a grace of Radharani. They could not avoid eating it. So they were eating and with unlimited joy, they were experiencing eating sweet rice. Spiritual pleasure has only beginning, no end. Material pleasures have beginning and end. Ehi sansparsaja bhoga dukkhayona yevati adyantavanta kaunte nateshuramate Buddha. Buddha means intelligent. D means brain. Buddha means intelligent. A person who is very intelligent is not so much enamored by the material pleasures, sensual pleasures, mental pleasures, because they have beginning and end. But spiritual pleasure, soul enjoys. That is real. So many of you are coming regularly is a standing testimony that you experienced a tiny spiritual pleasure at least once. Otherwise, it is like you are seeing honey but licking the bottle. America, one of the richest countries, and Indians are the richest minority in America. Still, we are not. Are you happy? Yes, but there is a but. Are you happy? Yes, but in English, the famous thing is there. When you say but, whatever the before lines, you have to cancel them. If you go to an English teacher, that's what they say. Be very careful when you say but. How is your relationship with your family? Very nice, but you should understand your spouse is listening. Means all these lines are cancelled. Because this line carries importance. Am I right or not? So yes, are you very happy? Yes, I have a Tesla car. I have that car. I have this good, I have a palatial mansion. But means what? All these lines are cancelled, and the but carries. Because we are licking the surface of the honey bottle, but we are not putting our finger and tasting honey. So anyway, what is that? They ate that and experiencing unlimited joy. So intelligent people, Krishna says, Nateshu ramate Buddha, because the pleasure coming by the contact of senses. In this world, there is no pure pleasure. Every pleasure is associated with the pain. You like chocolates? We prepare it to go to the dentist because chocolates give you dental problems. Like as every pleasure is associated with the pain. So anyway, so what is that? Spiritual pleasures have only beginning, but no end. So Rupa Goswami, he was writing books on the order of Lord Chaitanya. One thing he could not do. What is that? Lord Chaitanya said, excavate temples, because 5,000 years of Krishna came, but over a period of time, Vrindavan became practically a deserted area actually. So the Rupa Goswamis, they started excavating the places, they're reviving all the places. So, so he developed a desire to start Govinda temple, but there is no temple, there is no deity. So he has already by this time written many books. Excavation continued, but still this one thing he could not fulfill. He was crying, sitting on the bank of Yamuna. Then what happened one day? When he was sitting on the one cowherd boy came. Said, why are you crying? To start a temple, you need a deity. Now I know Vaishnava established this Govinda deity. But right now, I couldn't find. I searched every nook and corner of Vrindavan. And that cowherd boy said, you know what? Near this, there is a hillock, one hill, Kumatil. Regularly, one cow comes from the heavenly planets and releases milk on the top of the hill. I think underneath, there, Govinda is buried on the top of the hill. And that's why this cow, Surabhi cow comes and releases milk for him. If you go there, you can unearth the deity. You can find out. So he went. And exactly same time as, actually now the cowherd boy said that, Prabhu Goswami said, thank you. And after walking few feet up, the cowherd boy disappeared. Then he understood, this is Krishna. And what happened? He went to that place. As said, one cow came and released unlimited milk on that place at the top of the hill. And what happened? So he called the local Rajavasis, villagers. And so they together dug that place and they found out this beautiful deity, Radha Govinda Dev. Radha Govinda Dev Ji ki. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, not someone the last time also I didn't correct it. So Govinda is Abhideya deity actually. So Govinda Dev, now they found the deity, but we need temple. Out of the 6 Goswamis, actually their picture is there on the altar, 6 Goswamis. One of the 6 Goswamis is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, whose disciple was Raja Man Singh. He was the governor for Emperor Akbar. So Raja Man Singh, he, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami arranged a meeting with the Rupa Goswami. When he met Rupa Goswami, Man Singh was very impressed with Rupa Goswami and said, just to please him, he decided to build a beautiful temple, that is a Govinda temple. He built a 7-story temple in Vrindavan and installed Govinda there. Actually, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami built this temple only for the pleasure of Rupa Goswami. But one day, in the history, Aurangzeb, right? How many of you know Aurangzeb, the religious fanatic? So he was on his palace and he saw a ghee lamp. He saw a lamp actually, on a higher, higher levels. Said, what is that lamp? They said it is Govinda Dev temple. of Vrindavan. How can there be, Hindu mansion? How can it be taller than my palace? So destroy that. So then when the news came that, this building is to be, this temple is going to be destroyed, immediately they took the deities Govindev to Kamyavan to Jaipur. So when they destroyed the 7th story, then 6th story, 5th story was destroyed. Then suddenly the building started shaking. Now all the Muslim soldiers became scared and they ran away, never to come back. And that's why even today you can see the 4 stories of beautiful red stone, temple of Govinda in Vrindavan. How many of you seen Govinda temple? But Govinda ji was installed in Jaipur. So listen very carefully the story. Raja Jai Singh, Savai Jai Singh. So when he heard Govinda is coming to Jaipur, he was living in a beautiful palace. He said, God is the owner of everything. Actually, today Jaipur is named after Raja Jai Singh actually. So, no, I don't need this. So, this palace should be owned by Govindev ji, not me. And immediately vacated it. Because my presence in this world is 30-40 years. I will not rule Jaipur eternally. Right? Earth won't be there eternally, forget about it. So my presence in this world is temporary. But see, that is the beauty. Those days kings were Raja Rishis actually. So let me give my temple to Govinda Dev. Because not that Aurangzeb planned. So when the moment they got the message, immediately Govinda was shifted. Not to build a temple, you need months and years. So but when the news came, he said, no. It is said, Raja Jai Singh gave his bedroom. That is a temple. The main mahal, the entire building was given to Govinda. And he built a small place where he can see Krishna every day from his place. That is the mood. So many kings, in India especially, they dedicate their lives to install deities and start the temples and propagate bhakti, propagate Krishna consciousness. That's why in India you see so many temples actually. But unfortunately today, Indians are not taking pleasure in bhakti, rather they're enamored by the Western influence. That's why today temples are abundant. But churches are also abundant. So sad. Anyway, Raja Jai Singh was a very ardent devotee of Krishna. He would attend Mangalarti every day. Do you know every day? They told me Sunday feast, 20,000 people attend Sunday feast. How many? 20,000 people attend Sunday feast. They celebrate Janmashtami for 15 days. How many people attend Janmashtami? 1.5 crore people attend Janmashtami in 15 days. How many? 1.5 crore people attend Janmashtami in 15 days. I'm honest with you. I'm impressed by their devotion. This temple, both sides, they put their heads, Govinda, wow. I was really impressed. This temple has 2 doors, big doors, because thousands of people come. Not doors, entrances, of course, there are doors also, but you don't see the door, that much big entrance. One entrance is called Nityananda entrance, another entrance is called Gauranga entrance. Very interesting, So one entrance is Lord Chaitanya's entrance, another entrance is Nityananda's entrance. And So as usual, I'm South Indians. I still after taking darshan, I went to purchase prasad. Because everything is sold. I said, why are you standing? He said, I want to purchase. I said, what is that queue? That is free. Here everything is free. Really? Kya Govindev ka kuch kami hai kya? Govindev, does he have any shortage? He owns so much of land. Because the kings left that. Here everything is free. If you want to buy 20, 30 laddus, then you stand in that queue and buy. But if you want one, you just stand in the line and give it. All the retired people, what they do? They find joy in buying prasad and giving laddus to thousands of people. Prabhupada came to America. Prabhupada was shocked to see his 70-year-old Americans going to nightclubs and nightclubs to see the naked girls. Prabhupada said, what is this? But India culture was still there. Culture is still there. The retired people, what they do? They may be directors. Actually, they announced, Prabhuji walked out. Baburao Prabhu is actually Inspector General of Calcutta, Bengal, IG. What does he do? He cuts the vegetables in our temple. Because he understood it, He's 86-year-old. He has been doing it for a couple of years. And our pujaris, some are doctors, some are engineers, managers. Why? This is a real bhakti account that will come with us. That thing will not come with us. How many of you agree? One day one lady came. I've been preaching to her again and again and again. But what really impressed was when she came, her doctor was doing Aharti on the altar. Really? She is our primary doctor. Then she was impressed. More than my preaching, what she saw, that was, yes or no? So people who are very intellectual, if you take a bhakti, what is bhakti? Anya Bilashata Sunyam Jnana Karma Dhanavartam Anukulyena Krishna Selam Bhaktirtam. No desire. Anya Bilash, no Bilasha. You want to, like Hanumanji tried to please only Ram all the time. Gopis want to please only Krishna all the time. I want to please Krishna only. That is pure bhakti. So let me not forget the story. So Govindevji was brought and installed in Jaipur. And Radha Jai Singh was an ardent devotee of Govindevji. India, small kingdoms, always problem, cousins, envy. So everyone knew during Janmashtami time, whole few days, Jai Singh would spend the time on the altar only, in the temple only. That the whole city will be very busy in the celebrations. That is the best time we can attack and capture Jaipur. So as a neighboring king, he planned an attack. Invasion. Exactly on Janmashtami day. Knowing very well, all the soldiers, including the king, they would be busy in the celebrations. And we can capture the whole kingdom. And he started and finally he reached the borders. And he was shocked. At the borders, the full Jai Singh army. And with Raja Jai Singh ready. Who told you that I am coming to fight with you? And there was a battle. And this guy was defeated left and right. And he ran away. He retreated literally. Who told Jai Singh that I am going to attack? This is the most, what is that? Inattentive, time. Because he would be busy with worship. So what happened on the temple? They closed the temple for offering, and 1-2 hours later they opened the temple. Govindev's body was filled with gunpowder. Govindev's body was filled with the gunpowder. So he is called, Govinda is called the deity of Jaipur. He is a protector of Jaipur. Radha Govindev Bhagavan ki. Yeah. So, I really liked, So this is one of the cities. Anybody from here, Jaipur? Oh, really? Okay. So, what is that? I really have not seen that Western influence in the city. Still the temple is one of the, its temple is in the middle of the city, and it's so much bhakti. People are still wearing turbans, the pink city, So, if you pray to Govinda Dev and pray to the Acharya, who is the Abhidheya Acharya? Rupa Goswami. They will reveal us the process of bhakti by which we can cleanse our heart and awaken that love of God. Krishna Prema. What is the process? If you come here regularly, we tell you for the purification, we tell everyone to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So bhakti process is a process. And unlike other temples, if you come here, if Shraddha, you have little faith, that will take you up to prema. Anardha nivritti, nishta, ruchi, asakti, bhava, sthai bhava and prema. So, and once you attain the love of God, if Krishna wants, you can go back to Godhead. You can have self-realization through Bhakti Yoga process. Through Bhakti Yoga process. It is possible. Time is running out for everybody. For me also. So, when everything is fine, we should utilize human life to cleanse the heart. So, what is that? That is So, Rupa Goswami reveals us the process. Srila Prabhupada is a representative of Rupa Goswami. Srila Prabhupada, his name is there in Guinness Book of Records in 2 areas. One, for having written more number of books on Vedic culture. 2, for having started the career very late, became very successful. Prabhupada came to America at the age of 70 and lived only 12 years and established 108 temples. And third one is a prayojana. What is prayojana? What is end goal, end result? What is the end result? What is the goal? Goal is to go back to Godhead. And in your spiritual form, you will render service to Krishna eternally, free from birth, old age, disease and death, free from visa problems, free from green card problems, free from corona problems. That type of problems won't be there. In your spiritual form, you will render service to Krishna eternally. One day, Narad Muni went to Ravana. I told the story many times. Said, what you are doing is not right. Sita is a goddess of, fortune. Lakshmi Devi herself, you abducted her. Ravana became angry and he took the sword and cut off the head of Narad Muni. The sword went like this. Nothing happened. And he took the sword and sliced the body. Nothing happened. Narad Muni said, fool number one, this is spiritual body, there is no death. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dhati pavakaha, nachainam klediyanti apahana soshayati mavrta. So weapons don't work on this body because this is a spiritual body. Ravana said, I want that body. So you don't have death? No, there is no death for this body. I want that body. What should I do? First to give Sita back. Ravana said, no, I cannot. Then all right, go through cycle of birth and see the power of attachment. He has knowledge, but he could not give it up and he died eventually. And he got into the number 8 route. Even though sometimes we know very well, still we don't do it. What is it called? Laziness. What is it called? One of the enemies of spiritual life. We know what is right, still we don't do it. That's the power of laziness. Right? And there is one more reason, power of conditioning. Even though you want to do it, your conditioning will stop. I'm sorry, I'm taking you to Ramayana for 1 minute, only to tell you the conditioning. Should I take 2 minutes? Ravana said, I want to abduct Sita. I need your help. He told Marich. Marich said, what are you talking? Ram is supreme personality of Godhead. I got his shot one time. I still remember. Childhood, one time I got it. I never forgot. He shot Vaivyastra when I was trying to destroy Vishwamitra Munis Yajna. And 1,000 yojanas I was thrown away. I never forgot. If you ask me, don't do it. Ravana said, if you don't help, I'll kill you. Then Maris thought, instead of being killed by you, it's better I killed by him. And I be killed by him. Great. So he became a deer. To cut the story short, Ram shot an arrow, understanding that this is Rakshasa Maya. This is not a real deer. And now, I want everyone to know, people give so many explanations. This is one of the explanations. If Marich helps Ram, he'll go back to Godhead. If Marich helps Ravana, he'll be on the negative books. If he helps Ram, he'll be on the positive books. So what the only thing he had to tell Ram? I am a demon, you go back. Ravana, at least something. What he did because of the conditioning. He imitated Ram's voice and he said, Ha Sita Lakshmi. Sita heard that and sent Lakshmi. So the conditioning, you come to Sunday feast. Yes, these are real stories. I think I'm this bag of I'm a body. Once one person said, 72% of body is water only. Somebody asks you, who are you? I'm a water bag. Do you think you're a water bag? How many of us think we are a water bag with 72% water? We don't think. But the moment we leave this place, conditioning, whatever you said, fine, but I want to do what I want to do. The power of this will last only till tomorrow morning. Once the work starts, I know. So as long as the prasad is there, it will remain. Once the prasad is digested, we forget. So the prayojana, so what is that? End goal. End goal is go back to Godhead. And in our spiritual form, render service. There is a song by Narottam Das Thakur. Chamagauri ange divo chandanira gandha chamara dulabo kabi hirimu kabimba. So when will I, my Lord, when I offer chamara to you in my spiritual form, Narottam Das Thakur, in my spiritual form, wow, So the deity for Prabhupada says after liberation also, there is an activity. What is that activity? Rendering service to Krishna. In the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, Goloka eva nivasati yaklatma bhota govindamad purusham tamaham bhajami. So the deity for prayojana is Radha Gopinathji. And who is the Acharya for prayojana? Das Goswami, a billionaire by today's standards. Raghunath Das Goswami father would collect 2 million coins and deposit 1.2 million coins to the Mughal, the emperor, Muslim emperor, and would keep 800 coins. 800 means 8 lakh coins, 800,000 coins. They have only one son, lone son. This is India, not today. 500 years ago. Their annual income that time was 800,000 coins. And Hiranya Majumdar, Govardhan Majumdar, they had only one son. Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, what was his desire? Even if we get 8 million coins a year, everything is temporary. Body is temporary. Corona claimed 10 million lives all over the world. Great, we are not one of them. We are still alive. So we should utilize human life to accumulate the bhakti account. Today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow will never come. Today. So Raghunath Das Goswami, what he did, he ran away, rejecting this entire opulence. What he would do, to cut the story short, because I have to speak about Gopinath also. Raghunath Das Goswami ran away by the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. You know, the famous festival Chirada, he told Nityananda Prabhu, every time I want to run away, I cannot. I want to, renounce this world. I don't want this money. I don't want to be this, single heir to this entire kingdom and this, all this wealth. I want to go and serve. My heart is in serving Krishna. My heart is serving Lord Chaitanya. My heart is serving Jagannath in Puri. Under the guide, So I want to be serving Lord Chaitanya. I really want to serve Lord Chaitanya. So Nityananda said, you need grace, Kripa. Then, on the instruction of Nityananda Prabhu, he arranged this festival, Chidadahi festival. And he pleased all the devotees. He pleased Nityananda Prabhu, he pleased Lord Chaitanya came in his invisible form and ate. Because Raghunath Das Goswami was his dear devotee. Then he ran away. Because he got the grace. You have problems. Some things you need to, you want them to be fulfilled, but they are not being fulfilled. Only one shortcut. Please, devotees, 2 things you do. One is chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 2, serve devotees. I'm honest with you, your desires, if they're very legitimate, they'll be fulfilled by the grace of Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, one day, Lord Chaitanya kept him in the care of Sarvadhana Goswami. To cut the story short, what is Raghunath doing nowadays? He's not inviting me for his feasts. He's nowadays, he became a renunciate. For that reason, he would stand at the Simhadwara gate of Jagannath Puri temple. He would beg. That is good. Can you believe a billionaire by today's standard? He is finding happiness in begging. We have people, if you tell the story to outsiders, they think he's crazy. He's not. Because if you want to awaken that joy of love, soul, anyone can go to that extent. So, okay, Raghunath is standing at a Simhadwara gate begging. One time somebody asked me, my Sikhi Prabhu is coming actually, who is our Acharya of book distribution. In New York, he asked me, why you go for book distribution? He was asking everyone. And my turn came. I go for book distribution only one reason. It is a good medicine for my ego. You say, sir, take this book. I don't want to. That is very good. How many of you agree? It is very difficult to beat false ego. It's very difficult. So it is very easy to speak when somebody is listening. But you stand there. Sir, take this book. They don't even look at you. What a pain in the heart. That is the medicine. We preached to one Prabhu and one Mataji, wife and husband. Husband became a devotee, but Mataji was not becoming. Finally, after 6 months, 1 year, we gave it up. Difficult. But one day, one father took his son. And boy of 4-year-old, 5-year-old, they don't know anything. Father is doing book distribution, he was doing book distribution. And he was giving it to Americans. This boy, without losing enthusiasm, because he doesn't know the world, he was giving. 1 year preaching did not work. When she saw this boy being rejected by so many people, still with enthusiasm from morning to evening, he did. She was watching him. She was working in that area. She told me that is the day she changed. Today, different part, not in Michigan, but they moved out of Detroit. And they have a big Bhakti Ruksha. Literally, 50, 60 people come. And she is a very powerful force. Her transformation came not by philosophy, but seeing somebody, going through the pains, but still, if you take this book, it will change your life, Prabhu. Please read this Bhagavad Gita, read this Bhagavatam. Anyway, I'm done. Raghunath Das Goswami was begging. To cut the story short, one day Lord Chaitanya asked, what is Raghunath doing? Nowadays he stopped begging also. Then what is he doing? Every day Jagannath Prasad is sold. All the shopkeepers, they sell the prasad. By evening, whatever is left over, they throw that prasad to the cows. This Kalinga cows will come and eat. And after that, the cows also will leave it. Then all the flies will come and land on that prasad and feast on that prasad. 2-3 days later, this food rots. Raghunath would go in the night, pick up that food and wash it and eat it. If he does it in the daytime, he'll become very famous. After sensual pleasures, what is the biggest pleasure? Mental pleasures. Everyone wants to become famous. I have 3 million followers on Facebook. I have 5 million followers. I have 20 million followers. It may give a little happiness, but it will not bring you out of cycle of birth and death. So he doesn't want name and fame. What he wants? Krishna Prema. So that's why in the night he would go, pick it up, he would drive away the flies, and he would pick it up, wash it, and he would eat it. His faith on prasad. One lecture I heard, if you eat, you'll die in the same day. But Raghunath Das Goswami's faith on prasad is so high, he never died. And there's a picture on the bank of Radhakund, and he was chanting. Govardhan is one of the hottest residential areas in the world. If you want to test my words, go and stay in the month of May. By 7:30 in the morning, you cannot come out. Ooh, blistering hot. So Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because he rendered service to devotees, because he rendered service to Sarudhar Goswami, he rendered service to Lord Chaitanya, and his intense faith on the holy name. So he was chanting. Then 9 o'clock, it became blistering hot. He was sweating. Radharani saw that. Radharani herself came. And she covered his head with her sari. Achal. She stood there for a whole day. Sun came in the middle, in the noon sun came in the middle, in hot. Radharani was perspiring, sun came down. So, but because he was so absorbed in chanting the holy name, Raghunath Das Goswami was oblivious to the surroundings. He didn't see Radharani. One sun set, Radharani disappeared. So, ladies and gentlemen, spiritual life is simple, not easy. So, he has not only attained his goal, but today is the Prayojan Acharya. You want to attain self-realization, you want to awaken that love of God, you need to worship Raghunath Das Goswami. 15th century to 20th century, world has seen so many billionaires. Then why are we talking about this billionaire? Because he has attained what everyone is supposed to attain. Everyone's, what he attained, his goal, that should be goal for everyone. That is Raghunath Das Goswami. And the deity is Radha Gopinath. Sriman Rasa Rasa Rambi Vamsi Vatatarastita Karshan Venur Sonair Gopir Gopinath Sayestula. The deity, this was also installed by Vajranab and he was also covered, but first time he was discovered by Gadadhar Pandit disciple. Gadadhar Pandit disciple, Parama Bhattacharya, Acharya, I forgot, just now I forgot. Anyway, he is the one who unearthed this deity in Rasasthali area, but later served by Madhu Pandit. So Madhu Pandit took care of the deities, Radha Gopinathji. So if we pray to them, they will fulfill our desire of attaining Krishna Prema, love of God. So, but for that, actually last time I said, going to temples, like window shopping, like window shopping, temple shopping is also there. Monday is one temple, Tuesday another temple, Thursday one temple. Students, they know which temple what they give. Chakrapongal you want, Thursday you should go to this temple. If you want Rabdi, you should go to this temple. Sunday feast, ISKCON free prasad. So that's called a temple shopping. But if you really want to attain perfection, sankalpa, determination, really I'm not this body, really I can become free from old age, disease and death, I can go back to Godhead. When I'm in the body of cat and dog, I couldn't understand, but in human life I can understand. Great, I'll take it up the process. And I'll go through Sambandha, Abhidaya, Pravajana by coming here only 2 hours a week. 24 into 7 is 168. Do whatever you want to do, 166 hours, but come like this only 2 hours. Less than 2%. But this 2% will come with you. That 98% will not come with you. Family will not come with you. Bank account will not come with you. Relatives and friends will not come with you. But this will come with you. So today our morning, Mataji was telling the same thing. What is surrender? Anukulyasya sankalpa. Whatever is good for bhakti, do it. Whatever is not good for bhakti, don't do it. Pratikulyasya varjanam. Rakshatisyati iti vishwasam. Krishna will definitely protect me. Krishna is my maintainer. And having this full confidence, serve Krishna body, mind and soul. Atmaniksheba. But very important part is last one. What is the last 6th item? Humility. If you're an engineer, you came to America and did masters, you have a job, whether it's Chrysler, GM or Ford or whatever then how can we cultivate humility? If you have a lot of money in the bank balance, how can we cultivate humility? More than anything, you're in the heavenly planet of world, America. How can we cultivate humility? If humility is not there, I'm talking to myself. Humble. It's very important. Atmaniksheba. Karpanya. If 6th qualities you apply, I'm honest with you, one day you'll see Krishna eye to eye. In your spiritual form. In our spiritual form. I want to speak on that, but then it's late. So thank you very much. Very, very grateful. So it all makes one thing, sankalpa. Sankalpa means determination. I will change. Suddenly, like you are doing a small job in India. He went to America. America jana hai. How many of you are determined like that? Let us be honest. Only one. Yeah. That's where it all started. Likewise, I want to, okay, we all came to America because dollar is 70. Not that we have any love for America. Why did you come to America? Statue of Liberty. Unko aarti karna hai. Why did you come to America? Statue of Liberty ko aarti karne ke liye aaya. We have not come to America to do aarti to America Mata. Like Bharat Mata. We came because the dollar is 70. But 30 years later, we have to go to another place. Don't know where we are going, don't know when we are going, don't know how we are going, don't know why we are going, we have to go. Body means machine, it has to fail. Sarira iti sariram. Sariram means it has to be destroyed eventually. Whether you are a billionaire or a trillionaire, body means meant for a destruction. But before that day comes, today you start your bhakti account. Rather than visiting different temples, make a sankalpa. I will, every day I'll add in my bhakti account $20-30 sadhana. A day will come when body is being destroyed. You will hold on to the shelter of Krishna, hold on to the feet of Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, the incarnation of Krishna. One point I forgot to tell you, in Gopinath deity, there is actually, it's not here, but there is Mahaprabhu called Muralidhar Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya was given a flute because it's Krishna's incarnation, is Krishna himself. So the deity is there in Gopinath temple. It's called Muralidhar Mahaprabhu because it's Krishna himself. So people worship Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya gave an easy process. Kevala Ananda Kanda. What is the problem eating prasad? What is the problem jumping and dancing? Yesterday, Shri Prahlad Prabhu was here. Everyone was dancing. Everyone is like a joy, unlimited joy. Right? So, most difficult process, Lord Chaitanya made it easy. One reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, what is Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, chanting, dancing, and feasting. He actually said fasting also, and he dropped it because Americans cannot fast. So chant, and eat, feast. Stomach is full, then dance again. Food will be digested again, eat. What is Hare Krishna? Dance and eat. In this process, you'll attain the perfection. Right? But if you want to please your mind, I'll do that mantra, this mantra, there is a difference. If you really want to attain perfection, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. Everybody, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. So, who is the Sambandha Acharya? What will he give? He will give the knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. Perfect. Who is the deity for Sambandha Jnana? Louder. Radha Madan Mohanji. Then, who is the Acharya for Abhideya? What is Abhideya? Process of bhakti, process of Krishna consciousness. Who is the deity for Abhideya? Radha. And who is the Acharya for Prayojana? Raghunath Das Goswami. Who is the deity for Prayojana? So I take only 1 minute. So Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Radha Madan Mohan Dev Ji ki. Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Radha Govinda Dev Ji ki. Much louder. Radha Govinda Dev Ji ki. Radha Gopinatha, Radha Gopinatha Radhe. Radha Gopinath Dev Ji ki. But all the three are present as Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha. Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha, Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Radhe. Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Bhagwan ki. Nitai Gaura Hari because you have chanted Radha Madan Mohan ji, Radha Gopinath ji, Radha Govind Dev ji, and you have chanted Radha Gopijan Vallabhan, and that you have chanted the name of Nitai Padman Gaurari and Srila Prabhupada. I pray that one day you will attain all these three. You will get the Sambandha Gyan, you will get the Abhideya, and the Prayojana in your spiritual form. You will render service to Radha Gopijan Vallabhan, Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Madan Mohan, Govind Dev, and Gopinath. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada came to America for this purpose, nothing else. And at 70, at the age of 70, he came to America. Pure bhakti he gave, not to Indians, to Americans. And he transformed their hearts. So he built 108 temples, giving the pure bhakti process. Today we have 850 temples all over the world. And people practice pure bhakti, nothing else. And very, very grateful. I'm sorry, a little late, but I request you, please take prasad. And if I've spoken anything wrong, do excuse me as a humble servant, but very grateful for your patient audience. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Radha Gopijan Vallabhan ki, Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande.